Hi and welcome to Add More Zest. My name's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147, and it's Advent time. Happy 19th of December to everybody. So today I'm using a blue tray. This was from December 21 and this is the large tray. So our large Add More Zest tray. And I'm using my Pauly pen. This one was from September of this year. However, I dropped my pen with my metal tip in it and it well and truly chipped it. So I'm not ready to give it up. So I've popped my metal tip in the other side. I just don't have a straightener or anything on that side. That'll teach me. I've actually done this to 2 pens now, but you know, what can you do? What can you do? Right, we're doing this little guy now, all wrapped up, snug for winter. So let me get my camera in the right place. I have popped my grip mat. I've actually popped it sort of at the top. I could have popped it on day 21, but I'm more likely to knock it there. I'm going to see how far I can get in because I do have to move my canvas sort of over the desk lip that I'm leaning on. So probably zoomed out a little bit more this time because I know it's going to move. Just while I get this top section done. Yeah, so it is the 19th. We are very nearly hitting day 20 and Christmas hugely round the corner, and then all of a sudden Christmas will whiz past and it'll all be done. It'll be January again. It's normally the way it works, the way I feel it works for me anyway. But comments, questions. So Lady Dax, she says, hi Rebecca. She says, P. Jelly was listening to the Advent today, and when I mentioned about her finishing up her old cross stitch, apparently she grinned and blew a raspberry. I'm also losing my pen tip. I think I may have nicked this other side of my pen when I dropped it. Let's see how much aggro it gives us. She said she did a lot of, P. Jelly did a lot of cross stitch when she was younger, but her main thing now is crochet. She prefers to crochet. She says she thinks she'll have to add it to the family history box and hope that in years to come someone will find it and get it finished. She says she's still waiting on her 2 Diamond Art Club paintings from Black Friday. Every, she says, was due this evening between 7 and 9, but alas, they haven't turned up. Well, hopefully you have them by now. I've actually had an Every parcel delivery yesterday, which is the board, the sticky board that Jackie recommended for me to put my cross stitch onto. So I might make that a project for later on, see if I can get it framed properly, because I won't be taking down the Christmas decorations this year, much to Megan and Catherine's dismay when they realised that that responsibility would fall onto them. So I want to make sure that it is at least framed properly. I don't want that headache for next year. Much rather have that done before it goes away. Then we have Lynn. She says, hi Rebecca. She says she thinks it's a great idea about doing a diamond painting from a company that you haven't done before. She said it would give a more complete picture in regards to the full quality of the painting. I agree. Jackie says if/when you re-release Zesty Wolf. She says, please can you also redo the colour trays that went with him originally. She said they are gorgeous, and she said she didn't find me until November 21, so she missed out. That is a little bit more questionable whether we can, especially for one of the colours. So the orange, I think we have done an orange since, and the hot pink, we can probably get those again from one of our other suppliers. It's that shade of turquoise that we have a problem with. We used to pick that up from one supplier where we used to get our pink from. This is back when we had an issue actually doing our pale pink, because our supplier of those all of a sudden decided that the European warehouse doesn't ship to the UK anymore, or apparently they've had logistics problems that they're trying to fix in relation to it. However, it's been over 6 months and they've still not fixed it, so I'm not holding out much hope. So therefore they want, the only way we can purchase from them is shipping from the global warehouse, that weirdly doesn't seem to have as much stock of the filaments anyway. They may do of other products that they sell, but of the filaments they don't tend to have much stock, and shipping is more than twice the cost of the filament itself, because filament's quite heavy. Whereas from the EU warehouse we could make a bulk order and potentially get free shipping, or if we did pay for shipping, it was a reasonable shipping cost for what we were buying, rather than say the global. It doesn't matter how much we buy, because we would even be interested in really bulk buying if we could get the shipping cost to a reasonable amount. But no, the shipping cost pretty much is double what our order is, if not double plus a bit. It doesn't matter how much we order. So getting hold of that turquoise blue is proving to be a problem, and I've not found another turquoise that is potentially the same quality, and I have been hunting, so I'm not sure how much we could do the turquoise one, but never say never. The hunt goes on. It's always something that I re-hunt for every now and then to see if I'm able to get hold of, and you never know, one of these days I may find a supplier that I can get it from, and if I do, it shall be picked up, because I love that blue myself, absolutely love it, and want to do it in a different size tray as well. So yeah, if we can pick some up, I'll be picking quite a bit up. Susan, she says she has just opened her first bag of her day 12, so another one that was very good at waiting. She said because she decided to make the last day Christmas Day, she says, just like her advent painting, so she's actually waited until the 14th. That is good going, Susan. She says, what a great surprise. She says she's going to be using it for the rest of the month. She says this is so much fun. She said every day when she gets home from work, she looks forward to doing a square, and now she gets to look forward to a special treat as well. Awesome news. I love hearing what everybody thinks of the Advents. It makes me happy. Sorry, I just had a phone call come through. Where was I? Oh, Susan saying she looks forward to a special treat too. Awesome, you deserve it. Everybody deserves. In fact, that reminds me, I need to open my Advent for today with my little jelly bean and my little puzzle to do each day. something a little bit different. It's one of those sort of escape room puzzle advents that I picked up at a Christmas fair we went to. Dania, she says she had an idea when she thought about how sad it would be to put these away. She says to get 4 more pieces of canvas for each image. She says, and then to dot them to match and form an open top box. She said then each year it can be used as an advent calendar, but on your tree. See, I'm loving all these ideas that people are coming up with for different things to do. So much fun. Colleen says it was her daughter's birthday on the 4th, so happy birthday to her for the 4th. Anna also says that she would love to get hold of a zesty painting. She says she's looking forward to us getting more of them. And if she could get that and a couple of bright orange zesty trays, she says she'll be all set. Okay, noted on the orange. Even if I can't get hold of the turquoise, the orange has been noted. She says, congratulations for getting 16,000 subs. Thank you. Okay, that one's done. I'm going to go for the background first before we fill in this little guy. Lisa said the temperatures have actually been around freezing here, which is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh, thank you for telling me. I never know when people put Fahrenheit, I never know whether that is a nice temperature or not. It can be really hard. Right, let me get a glue dot from the bottom of this pen because it just does not want to stick in it. So I'm going to pop a glue dot. Let me get hold of it. I'm going to pop a glue dot on the end of the metal tip. I think I did some damage when I threw it on the floor. So let's pop a glue dot on to keep hold of it and see if we can stop it from falling out. Glue dots on both ends of my tips. It's a good job I have loads. So they've been around freezing. She says, unfortunately, that means an ice storm. She says we're supposed to get around a foot of snow on top of the ice. She said, yuck. That sounds extremely yuck. Ours has pretty much gone now. There is still very small patches of it. And when I say ours, I'm probably talking our garden more than anything. There's very small patches of it now, but we've had a couple of days of rain. Rain rather than snow, so the temperature hasn't been cold enough for it to snow, but the rain has melted the rest of what snow and ice were in the garden. Kathy too says she's very happy to be one of my 16,000 subscribers. Very happy to have you as well, Kathy. Kathy did also send me an email because she did have a comment in relation to wax not sticking in her metal tips, and she wanted to let me know that they weren't tips from us that it had happened in. Bless you, Kathy. In relation to that, I don't know if you would potentially have the same problem with our metal tips or not. I've not heard of it. However, you never know whether it is a certain company's tips that have a problem with wax or not. But I do like people telling us what doesn't work for them as much as what does, whether the product be from us or not, because that's how we all learn. And if you have something that doesn't work for you, you may be thinking it's you that's the problem, not the item. And having somebody else let us know that they're having a problem too can help relieve that thought. So thank you so much for taking the time to email, but there's no offence taken whether it was our tips or not that you had a problem with. Katie Ann, she says, hi Rebecca. She says she's loving the Advent painting. She said the colours are beautiful. She says she's behind with a diamond painting, but not the videos. She's been listening while writing Christmas cards, while putting up decorations. And today she is wrapping presents. She says she's only working on her Christmas Paint Gem minis, and she's got more left to do than days until Christmas. She says she loves one of the items that were in the Advent calendar. I'm going to keep that one quiet as well because it may or may not be in some of the 12 days. It's in some, but not all of the 12 days. She says, and she does hope that we have them in our shop in the new year. That is an item, Katie Ann, that there may be a few in the clearance in the new year. I'm not sure if that is going to become a regular item or not, because they are not the easiest to make. They are not the easiest to get ready for the shop by any means. She says, thank you for everything you do for us, and have a fabulous holiday with your mum and dad. She says, love Christmas, hugs. Thank you. Ickle Piglet, she says she's having a cheeky hour on her diamond painting today on the 15th. She says as she's working from home. Work is quiet, so she thought, why not? Well, you can still diamond paint and be ready for work. When we had training days, so we'd have the odd time when we'd need to do some form of training for work. Either some new process that had come in, or we had refresher training as well, just for all the legalities when I was working full time. And during COVID, they did this training over Teams. Oh, it was wonderful. Absolutely wonderful, because I could pop my earphones in and have my phone propped up on my easel so that I could see any slideshow that I needed to see, and I could diamond paint my day away. I remember getting quite a bit of my Minions painting done on training days. It was absolutely fabulous. I loved it. And it actually helped me to listen better than just getting distracted. If I was just sat there, so easy to get distracted if you just sat there with somebody, especially when it was refresher training and it was stuff I knew already. I just needed to have gone through a refresher of it. Absolutely loved it. The only time I didn't love it was when I was the one doing the training, because I couldn't diamond paint all day. I had to actually pay attention and give the training. So yeah, work is quiet, so she thought, what not? She says she's also been for a chest x-ray due to a cough that she's had for 4 weeks. She says she's getting really fed up of it now. She says she loves all the videos and chats. Well, hopefully your diamond painting and the chat will help whittle the time away, and hopefully they do get to the bottom of what is causing you to have that tickly cough for far too long. Molly says it looks great, and she can't wait until it's finished. And Nancy says, wowzers, time surely is flying. Isn't it just? It's going so quick. Right, I've got a diamond there that is not diamond shaped at all. Yeah, time is flying too fast. It was flying too fast when you made your comment. Never mind by the time I get to the comment. It's flying even faster, that's for sure. Holly says it's 10 days away from Christmas. So she commented this one on the 15th. She said 10 days away from Christmas. She said this is utterly insane to her. She says she loves how this is coming along, and she definitely needs to get on board and get one next year. Oh, it'd be lovely if you could join us with the painting we're doing next year. There is something to be said for doing a different painting and seeing it coming along, but there is also a different element to be doing the same painting, because as much as you can watch it come to life on video, it is often different when you are doing it yourself and you see it come to life in front of you. It's a different level. Helen, she says, oh wow, that is looking awesome. Thank you, Helen. That's my sister-in-law that has commented that. So she's been having a sneaky look at my YouTube. So I'm glad you like it. It's mine, is all I can say. If I end up doing a second one, if I end up doing one of the ones that have been held in case any don't turn up, or if we get a restock, then maybe I'll do one for you. But this one's mine. Diana, she says, do you plan on getting any more advent calendar diamond paintings? She says she's just come across our channel and she would love to order one. Maybe in 2023 at some point we may restock some of these, so those that did miss out or found it too late can still get one. A lot of it is down to storing the stock of them, you know, while they're waiting to be ordered. If I can find somewhere that they can be stored and not disrupt family life as much, then I'll be more than happy to get some more in. At the moment, we are already taking over a section of our bedroom with printer filament. We did a huge order for printer filament, and yeah, we have stacks and stacks of it for our plans for next year. Cross Stitch and Tat says it's 34 degrees Fahrenheit where she is, which I now know is cold. She said she's so cold she will be glad to wear her Mrs. Claus outfit this morning. She says we're visiting a care home for bedridden elderly patients. She says she's sure that they will enjoy our visit. I'm sure they will. She says she will do her diamond painting when she returns, and thanks again for all that you do. Thank you for what you're doing as well, dressing up as Mrs. Claus and going round various places over Christmas. Rachel did post in the group of, I think it was her granddaughter, please forgive me if it wasn't, doing a little diamond painting Christmas tree, which was adorable. So it sounds like you've definitely got your time full over Christmas. Cat Lady says she's still not got any snow up there, she says, but the BBC weather is saying that they will get some on Christmas Day. She says, which will be lovely if it does. She says, we're well frozen, but no snow. She's living in thermals and lots of layers. You need lots of layers, especially with, you know, our energy price hike that has happened in the UK. Cost of living going through the roof. You definitely need your layers. Kaz says, thanks for another great whip and waffle. She says she's listening to this as she's cleaning her bottles with Goo Gone in preparation of kitting up her mystery edition mini paintings. She's completed today's square and tomorrow's square because she is out of her flat for most of the day, so she's got ahead so that she's all up to date. Nancy Smith, she says, it's a stormy day here today, so she's definitely going to be able to catch up. She says she's just finished day 14. She's going to work on something else for a bit. She says she should be cleaning the house. Quiet. She should be cleaning the house. But she says, but really, when it's bad weather, you just want to relax. I agree with you on that one. Who wants to go and take bins out and stuff when the weather's awful? She says currently we're getting freezing rain. She says that will likely change to snow. So she's so glad that she doesn't have to be out and about. She said, see you later. See you soon, Nancy, on your catch up. Busy Lizzie, she says, hi Rebecca. She says she is from Scotland. So she is aware of the charges from Diamond Art Club due to that. She says, has there been any snow for you? She says, where do you live down south? So we have had a little bit of snow. I'm actually in the northwest of England. We rarely get snow because we are in a valley, but we have had a light fluttering of snow. You probably couldn't even say it was a centimetre. It's probably more of just enough to cover the grass white, unless you haven't mowed your lawn, and then the grass would probably still stick through. It's that sort of low an amount of snow. So we have had a little bit. She says up in Scotland it has snowed, and tomorrow, which will be the 16th of December, she's writing it, she said we're expecting more snow and more ice. She says she loves it, but it's too cold, and she asks how I feel about snow and ice. I think snow can look very pretty, and it can make the garden look very pretty. However, I much prefer, if we're going to have snow, I much prefer the light dusting like we've just had. So just enough to make the gardens look pretty, but not so much that the gritting of the roads and stuff doesn't work. So our light dusting was enough to make the gardens look nice and pretty and uniform, and you could enjoy, you know, the snow on the top of the fences and the tops of the trees. But the main roads, the grit were able to do its thing. So if you did need to go somewhere, the main roads were pretty clear. Because our road is a bus route, so our road does get gritted, which means I could go where I needed to go, when I needed to go, without basically, you know, having to deal with driving in snowy conditions. We have had bad snow once, and I did have to drive in it, and it was awful. So I much prefer the light dusting, if we're going to have it at all. She also says that she has a family in Perth, Australia, and in 2009, 2010, they went over for Christmas, which of course is Australia's summertime. She says the weather was far too hot. She saw Santa on a motorcycle, she said, delivering mail, but she also saw him on the beach giving out Christmas presents. That happens near my brother, where my brother lives in Anglesey in Australia. The Santa comes on a boat to the beach to see the children. So weird. So weird. Lovely, but to us Brits, where it's always cold, it's a very weird phenomenon. She said she was in her teens when they went and thought it was so weird compared to our Christmas. She says especially since their Christmas dinner was a barbecue and not a roast turkey that she'd normally have. She said it was weird, but it was still nice. Sometimes it is nice to have different. It makes you appreciate your traditions more as well, and makes you recognise the fact that other people's traditions are often different to your own. Darcy also says she would love a zesty wolf. And Melissa, she says the Advent diamond painting is looking fabulous. She says, when was the last time you spent Christmas holidays with your parents and siblings? Oh, that is a question. When my children were younger, my parents did come over for Christmas. And we had Christmas at my house, but that was probably about 20 years ago. Something like that. My brother and my sister, I have seen them more recent because they moved out later than my parents. But yeah, for actual Christmas Day, oh, it's been a long while. It's been a long while. She says, have an amazing time. She says, hope your daughter has a wonderful year. She says, bet you're really going to miss her. I am. She's my little shop helping buddy. Well, she has been for the last few weeks. And she did so much to help with Advent. I just have to try and either train another child up on helping with Advent or for next year. Or start a lot earlier because she was absolute gold. She says Melissa misses her eldest so much. She says congratulations on hitting 16,000. She says that is totally mind-blowing, but she can really understand why. She says your YouTube channels, website and shop and the family, she said, are absolute amazeballs. She said superstar. Oh, thank you, Melissa. That is lovely. Yeah, so sweet. Susan, she says, although she has been here since the beginning, she said it was great to hear the story from start to finish. She said she would have to agree. She said, with you tooting your horn, she said, it's a great product, so tooting is in order. Like you, she says she can't imagine using any other tray. She said they suit her so well, and she now does have 14 of them, so she must really like them. She says, thank you so much for sharing. I am glad you are enjoying them. Yeah, I love the tray. It just works, and I love it when I find something that just works. When I find something that just works, I keep it. But I do enjoy revamping things that are not quite right until I can get them to the point that they just work. There's some satisfaction in finding some organisation or some tool that just does exactly what you want it to do. Right, I'm at that middle stage of the tray now. I've just got these middle rows and then the last few bits that I've just turned around the right way. Creative Donna, she says she could definitely do with something to bring a smile to her face. She says it's been a rough few months. Had money issues and now the van. She said the day before they were booked in to have the bearings and brakes done, the head gasket went. Oh, that's got to be all three now. She says so now they're without a car, but they do need one as soon as possible for her boyfriend to be able to get back and forth to work. Plus, she says to put a cherry on the top, they have a 15-month-old who's breaking through her last few teeth, and it is having it really rough, bless her. Donna said, sending love to you all in case she doesn't get a chance to say it closer to Christmas. Merry Christmas, everyone. Well, I hope everything gets better for you, Donna, and that things are on the up from now on in. and that things sort themselves out in the weird way that they can. Amy says in Milton Keynes, which is down south, I actually used to live there when I was a child. She says they got the snow on Monday and now it's ice and slippy. She says it's still here, so nearly a week. So you've had that for a little bit. Ours did linger for quite a while. I'm not sure if it's been a week because all my days blur into one. So it may well have been a week. Could have been more than a week for all I know, the way the days keep racing by. Susan said another fantastic story from Laurie. She says she's still behind, but she's having a great time catching up. She says these little squares are just too cute. She says she's off to do day 13 now. She says thank you so much for sharing. So Susan is well and truly catching up. And here she is, day 13 done and dusted. So her comment followed shortly after. She says she actually finished before me. So now she gets to watch. She said if all goes well, she should get 14, 15 and 16 done tomorrow, and then she will be all caught up. She said it's been a heck of a December, but it's back on track. She definitely thinks that I should do one of the paintings from companies that I haven't worked on yet, so we all know if they're nice. She says thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to kitting one of those paintings up, which hopefully I will get round to today. That's the plan. Lady Dax, she says I do hope that you can work out stocking the Xyron. Well, update on the Xyron. I was given contact details by Xyron. I contacted them and they were like, no, we don't stock them in the UK. As far as I know, nobody stocks them like for wholesale. It's just a matter of buying them and getting them shipped from the States. So I have gone back to Xyron themselves to see if there's any progress on that, but at the moment it doesn't look like I can get hold of them because Xyron won't ship from the States, because that was my other option. I would have imported from the States. I just need to be able to import as, from wholesale, not from retail, because if I import from retail, then I'm either losing money or have ridiculous prices like the other companies possibly have to do, just to cover things like VAT and corporation tax and things that I have to pay for every item we sell. So yeah, it's not looking hopeful, but I haven't yet given up. Lady Dax also says she thinks that the 6-foot snowman suffered with a vertigo as they got up in the morning to him being in his top 2 sections had face planted the ground. Oopsie, tipsy snowman. She says PJ promptly went out and rebuilt him with a quite a bit shorter top half. And it's still out there. She says it's frozen solid, which is really unusual here in London, because yeah, you're normally warmer down there than it is up here. It's usually slushy, she said here, after a few days. Maybe she's saving that snow from melting as quick by making a snowman out of him. My glue dot in this pen is wearing out a bit. Let's see how far I can keep going before it keeps dropping diamonds on me. April, she says, Rebecca, she says, hi. She says, how come your round diamonds are so big? She says, it looked like they are squares, the way they fit so snugly together when you place them. She says, is this unique to your shop's products? She says, thanks, and I love these daily advent whips. The rounds are the standard size of round diamonds. I think with some companies, so these are resin diamonds, I think with some companies the round ones can appear smaller, but round diamonds are actually slightly bigger than square diamonds anyway. They're supposed to be. So there's no speciality in the size of these round diamonds compared to the square. I think just because the quality is a good quality, they seem to fit more together with less gaps, and I find that across most of the premium diamond paintings. When you buy a round, they seem to be slightly bigger, but I don't think they necessarily are. I think just the curvature of them is a little bit better. I've even found it with the square that I'm working on at the moment. So I'm working on a square mystery from Deals, and while their squares fit together snugly, and even with the light pad they're a nice fit, they do seem different to the premium company squares in the fact they seem to drop off a bit quicker. So actually the back of them is the same size, which is what goes onto the canvas, but these ones are fuller in, they don't drop off as quick to meet the bottom edge. So maybe that's the difference that you see. That was one of my random thoughts the other day about what looks different. Crystal says she watched this video, she said day 15, before she started hers because she couldn't figure out what it was. She said, is it branches or antlers? That question has come up a couple of times for square 15. So square 15 was antlers. It was one of the charting ones that did give Sam a bit of a headache. I have posted in, I think it was a thread, you'll see it as being started by Hank, which is a thread by Billy in our Facebook group, but she uses the Hank name on Facebook. So if you have a look on there, I have posted a picture of the original image of the square so that you can see what it was originally, but it is antlers, just to clear that up. Crystal also says, she says, P.S. she loves the idea of small paintings. She says she wonders if just a set for each season, maybe. We shall have to see what crops up, shall we not? Lady Sapphire, she says, hi Rebecca. She says the advent is come along nicely. She says she's just had a thought. She said a nice wrap-up video for the advent might be a comparison between the round version you completed and the square one your mum is doing. She said she doesn't know how feasible it would be to try and do, but she thought she would throw it out there. I like the idea. I might try and see if I can get some nice pictures of my mum's while I'm there, because as much as if it was any other trip, if it was just me and Karis going for just a 2-3 week visit and then both of us coming home, then I would be more than happy to take with me my round painting to be able to do a comparison. However, because Karis is going out for a year, there will be quite an element of my luggage allowance that will be going to her and her items, her stuff, to ensure that she can take as much as she wants to take. So it won't be as feasible to then try and fit in this painting completed, rolled up, along with all of her stuff. So I'll try and get some pictures of my mum's, and then I will take some pictures of mine and pop them side by side and try and do it that way instead. I have skipped doing the ABs. I'm going on to the blue and filling in the rest of this little guy. I think he's a bird. He's a blackbird. Little blackbird. Brienne, she says, while she is very much enjoying all the little images in this year's Advent kit, she says she doesn't know if she would buy one in the same calendar style for next year. She says she is missing working on a full image. So her vote is another exclusive image that we can just section off to do Advent style, like we did with last year's Zesty Wolf. Thank you for keep giving me your opinions. It does help. I'm trying to come up with choices and options at the moment for backup if my original plan doesn't work. And my original plan is a little bit different. So we'll see what we can come up with. Lisa, she says, while our temperatures here in Wisconsin for this temperature of mild here, she says, I thought I'd missed a word. The sentence wasn't making sense. It's me. She says, while our temperatures are mild here in Wisconsin for this time of year, she says, for a change, we actually wish it was colder or warmer. She says, because it was right around freezing, 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So yesterday into the night, we had an ice storm with 1/4 of an inch of ice, then almost 10 inches of snow on top. She said it wasn't fun. We had trees and power lines go down under the weight of the ice that the snow then stuck to. Yeah, it's sort of the wrong way around that, isn't it? She said how our electricity was out from 2 a.m. Until it came back on at around noon today. It was getting a tad cold here by then. I can imagine. What a time for the heating to kick out. At least you're under your duvet cover, I suppose. At least you're in bed and toasty warm. That's a perfect excuse to stay in bed past noon. In my opinion, I could imagine us being a huge blanket and duvet fort if we ended up having the heating go off on us. Kathy, she says, so she has a story that you, Rebecca, she said, would call highly entertaining. She says that's not what she calls it, though. Okay, this is a misadventure that's happened to you, isn't it? She says, my painting has quite a lot of shading, which is nice. She said, however, she accidentally mixed up 3 shades of light grey together. Ouch. She said, into one big mess. She said each pot had a combination of greys. She didn't know which colour was which. It was one royal mess. She says she's still figuring them out as she goes. I think that might be too painful of a mix-up to be entertaining, that one, Kathy. I think that might have reached that border. There is one thing when we all have that little bit of mixed misfortune that happens that we can sympathise with and also maybe laugh at a little bit after it's happened. But I think 3 shades of grey might be taking it a bit too far. That does not sound pretty, that's for sure. It's like you need to make yourself a little reference guide so that you can pull out your diamonds to check against it as you go, to try and figure out what colour everything is. That, or just buy replacement diamonds and ditch it off as a bad job. And with grey, I think I'd be tempted to do that, to be honest. Bernadette, she says, hi Rebecca. She says, another great whip and waffle. She said she is currently a day behind because life got in the way yesterday. So she is writing this on the morning of the 16th. I think I actually tapped out 4 diamonds. See if I can get them all the right way up. Oh, the last one was being a bit of a pain. So she's writing it on the morning of the 16th. She said she was up early and she got day 15 done while still in her PJs and having her morning coffee. She says she's loving seeing it all come together. She's opening her 12-day Advent every second day. She said, so this morning she opened day 8. She says, wow. She says she now knows what all the excitement was about. She said, if she's honest, she did kind of expect it. Kind of suspected, or at least hoped it would be what it was. That's the thing, isn't it? You can have an idea of what it was and you can have a hope of what it was, but until you actually open it, it's never quite known. She says she's beyond happy. She said she did make a bit of a boo-boo on day 6 because she opened day 9 because she looked at it upside down. So tomorrow she will be opening day 6 and all will be hunky-dory again. Also this morning she said she did get a notice from customs to pay the VAT on the items from launch. She said she was amazed. They must be feeling festive. I'm amazed that Ampost have actually delivered, because we did wonder whether we would have to send via courier, but we decided to give Ampost another go because they do seem to have booked their ideas up. So we thought we would give them another go because the cost difference was quite a bit. She says she's paid straight away, so her goodies should be delivered in the next few days. She can't wait to receive them. She said, all in all, today is a really good day. She said, thank you for everything. It's fantastic to see the business growing. She says, and you really deserve it with all the work you and Megan put into it. She's also apologised that it was a long comment. It was a long comment, but it was actually a good comment, very informative. And I love it. I love hearing how the Advent's working for everybody, even the little glitches, opening the wrong day. You know, something we might need to look into, doing it a little bit different next year to make sure that it's right and all that sort of stuff. Get my little sticky mat off. I've got my little circles to keep it clean, and I'm doing my best to make sure I pop it away. So that I don't damage anything. Got a couple more diamonds in my little trashy pot. But I'm so happy that Ampost have finally decided that they are going to deliver your goodies to you, Bernadette. That may be much better going forward, because depending on what it is, the courier can be a pretty penny more. So there we go. Day 19 is done. We have a completed row. The only completed row so far, so that we can see what the whole top looks like. We go to what I think is going to become my favourite square tomorrow, mainly because it has coffee in it, and coffee, I like coffee. So I'm calling it coffee. You can call it hot chocolate or tea, it's up to you, but I'm calling it coffee, and that is going to be the day for tomorrow. Thank you all so much for your comments and things. I am slowly but surely, I wouldn't say catching up, but I am slowly but surely getting through all the comments, and I may or may not get caught up, but if not, it will give me something to chat about while waffling next year. So yeah, have an awesome 19th of December, or whatever day it is, depending on when you get to this video, and I will speak to you all again tomorrow.